हेलो ऑल, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। स्वागत है आप सबका मेरे इस चैनल पर।
This is the last topic in this module, barrier to PDM implementation. The barrier can be divided into several groups. These are the different barriers. The first is the system itself. Second is the people working in the system. The third can be the project team working on PDM. Fourth can be the process which is defined in the PDM. Fifth can be the organization structure. Then can be the funding. Then information, installation, and everyday use. So we'll see these points one by one, why PDM cannot be successfully implemented. If the problem is known, if the problem is identified easily, then it can be really avoided. But if the problem is not identified, why the PDM cannot be successful? As we have seen that PLM, there are issues with PLM also. So if PLM is not properly implemented, then it is of no use. Similarly, PDM should be properly implemented. So these problems has to be clearly identified by the people who are responsible for implementation of the PDM. So we'll see these problems one by one. The first is the system. This category, it contains the problem related to the PDM system and the system vendor. So it is talking more about the system. It includes problems such as incomplete system functionality and malfunction of the system. Then there can be the response time is poor, or the system is unavailable on a wide range of platform. The system may suffer from limited customization. There is no customization and it is not possible, or the people are not able to do it. Lack of upgrading. As the technology upgrades, upgradation should happen in the system. The issue may be it is using too much of computer power and resources, and it does not have a good interface. Okay, this can be various problems, and all these problems are barrier to implementation of the PDM. This category also includes the problems such as oversold functionality. Like it may happen that the vendor have told lot of things, and while the system is implemented, it come to the notice of people that okay, he has told so many things will happen, and only a few of it is happening. So we have overpaid for that. So that can also be a problem or barrier to PDM implementation. Now, whatever reasons I am discussing, these are after the system is purchased and installation of the system is going or installation has happened. That time this can be the problem, and this can delay the PDM implementation. Then there are problems related to PDM system, and it can surface at different times. It can actually appear at various phases. It can appear any time whenever the system is implemented, whenever it is in initial use, maybe when the new version appears. If the vendor is not giving the proper support, and if it is transferred to some new vendor, anytime the problem can occur in the system. Some problems may become apparent as soon as the system is installed. For example, system crashes quickly as soon as it is installed. People will come to know that it crashes quickly, or it is not user friendly, or it is taking too much time to upload the data or to retract the data, and also its response time is slow. When you click a button, it takes a lot of time to give the output or result. No, sometimes problems may come from both the sides also. It can come from the user side as well as the support staff side. User means the one who is using the system, and support staff means those who are giving support for the system. Users may have problem, and those problems can be resolved if the upgradation is done. Like there is some issue, and then there is some update that has come, and if that update is installed or whatever, then the problem is resolved. And if the people who are using it, they are not bothering for that, then there may be problem, and the system may not function properly. Sometimes it may happen that the system may not behave as expected, and the time required may be more. Also, the functionality which is provided is not as required. After that, also some other operations are to be performed. For example, if an Excel sheet is downloaded, then there are a few more editing or formatting operations that are to be done after the sheet is downloaded. So it is not properly functioning. That can be another reason. In some cases, it may happen that the functions that are needed, that doesn't exist only. For example, if you are using a system for finding the comparison between two products, then that you are expecting, I have taken one product, I have taken a second product, and I want to compare what are the benefits or specifications of this product, and that feature, comparison feature, is not at all present in the system. Then what will happen? It is of no use. Okay, or at least that feature cannot be properly used. Or it can happen that the system can handle only few number of documents. Suppose you want to get some analysis of from 50 documents, and the system is compatible enough to handle only 20 documents. Then how will you do the analysis? It's not possible for you to do that. That is another issue with the functioning of the system. Sometimes online help may not exist for some key functions. Sometimes there may be documentation for some of the things, and for particular function, maybe if you want to, I'm giving just a small example, like there are repeated entries, and the repeated entries are to be deleted, and there is no documentation how to delete the repeated entries. There is no button, and also there is no online help to do that operation or do so. Then that is again a issue of the functions. Sometimes the software or the system is such that it may not support many customization which are required by the users. Sometimes user may need too many customizations. ये ऐसा चाहिए, यहाँ पे चाहिए, ये टैब वहाँ पे चाहिए, इसका रिपोर्ट ऐसा आना चाहिए, इसका रिपोर्ट ऐसा आना चाहिए. And if it is not possible, that system is not strong enough, the software is not strong enough, then it may not support all these things. It may happen that the system administration is inflexible. They will hear all the problems that are there, and they may not give support to you. They may be inflexible, and or they may be too time consuming, or there can be n number of problems. Basically it says that the system administration is not flexible, and that's why the work that is to be done, that is implementation of PDM, is not possible. And this may lead to people doing the activity manually. Like you must have heard about at many places where there are softwares, but then people still do the things in Excel only. So then what is the use of such softwares where people are using Excel, or maybe they are doing it by their hand on page and paper? So if these are the things, then the aim for which that particular system is implemented, that may not be satisfied. Then another issue can be system may not work on all the platforms where it is needed. It may not work on different platforms. Suppose now whenever we purchase some software in the institute, we come to know that this is cannot be installed on Windows 7. Then it needs Windows 10 only. Like there are issues like this. Okay, so these are the issues which can come, and if these issues comes, then it is again issue with the system, as it is a barrier to implement the PDM. Sometimes it may happen that it is difficult to integrate the design, analysis, and manufacturing of the project. So, suppose drawing is to be drawn, and then analysis of the drawing is to be done, and then that drawing is to be sent for the manufacturing purpose. And further the manufacturing data is also to be collected. So all those things may not be possible. So integration may not be possible. So that also comes under, it's not possible for the system to work on all platforms. Sometimes vendor may not be able to provide well-trained support staff. Now this is also another issue. The vendors have taken appointment of different users. They have sold it to 3-4 users. The trained staff has to go to different locations and teach the people there. There is a team of 10 people, and out of which 5 are trained and 5 are sub-trained or not trained. Then if something happens where this non-trained people have to give the training, then what may happen? They may not be able to explain it properly, or they may not be knowing the functions of each and every buttons or whatever is there in the software. So again, because of this, what will happen? The people will not be able to perform the work which they are intended to do. This is also a possibility. At the time, as the time goes on, it may become clear that the wrong vendor was chosen. This may happen, and now already investment is done, so nothing can be done, and it can result in bad implementation of PDM. This is another issue, that new versions are there, but they are delivered late. So people are working with the old version, and the issues were resolved in the new version, but that is delivered late. It may also happen that in the new version, whatever was promised, that okay, we will upgrade it, we will solve this issue in the next version, that is not properly done, or some new problems have been arised, new issues have occurred with the upgraded version. That is another problem for implementation of PDM. Because of these issues, there can be increase in the maintenance cost, and it can be unacceptably high. So many of today's, here we are talking about PDM users. It can be for any product. It can be for any product or any software that is delivered, that people may run into a problem. So people can run into the problem. Now sometimes it may not seem as this problem is a genuine problem. While portrayed in the problem, it may not be that serious, but then actually it can be a serious problem. Sometimes it may happen that a vendor may disappear. It may also happen that the PDM system have moved on to another generation, and much more functionality has been provided, or vice versa is possible, that the system is there, and the company's functionality has been changed, or the company's way of working or their management has changed, and management is not the sense the management, the managing of the product or the activities have been changed, and the vendor is not able to provide these things. So that can also be a issue with this PDM system. So you can write all the generalized things that you must have observed or faced in this, and same can be applicable to the PDM systems. So basically this is talking about what? Talking about the software that is used for the PDM implementation. Now the next barrier here is the people. So we have seen in PLM also, people are really a barrier when anything new has to be implemented. Some of the reasons in this category are related to top management. So people mean all sort of people, right from the employee to the top management. Everyone is responsible in some or other way for this barrier in implementation of PDM. So first we'll talk about this top management people. It can be the top management, middle management, or it can be the users of the actual PDM product or the software that is to be implemented. Next is, it is the PDM project team, the team of people who have actually understood what PDM is and how to implement the PDM. Those people can also be the problem for implementation of the people, or it can also be the consultant who is appointed expert for this PDM implementation. So it can be either top management, middle management, or the users, or it can be the PDM team, or it can also be the consultant. So we'll see one by one. The first is top management. It can be this maybe the source of many problem, and for the reasons such as lack of commitment, lack of leadership. Now this leadership is really important thing. Even if everything is there and leadership is not there, nothing productive will come out of it. So if there is no commitment from the management, now how no commitment from the management means, management has told that okay, PDM system is to be implemented, but then they are not serious about implementation of the PDM system. The software is coming late, or whatever support is needed, that is not given. All these are the issues with the management. Then if there is no proper direction how to use the system, if there is no support from the management, like whatever related things are needed, that should be provided. If that is not there, then PDM cannot be implemented. So this can be a problem from the top management. Then at middle level also there can be issues. There can be issues like conflict with personal goal. There can be conflict between the middle management. So they may not be in the interest of implementing it, or if it is told them to implement, okay, they will implement just for the namesake. Or there can be fear of loss of power. Like if loss of power means, if I am implementing PDM and if it is not properly done, my position may go to someone else. So that also can be the issue with the middle management. Then there can be issues with the member of the PDM project team. Now top management is done, middle management is done. Now the actual project team who is working it, there may not be proper coordination between them, and because of that, PDM may not be properly implemented. Now, all these issues can be resolved if top managers are among the leading supporters of PDM. The software has been purchased and the PDM has to be implemented. So it should come from the top level. Then only the middle management and the PDM project team will take it seriously, and they will try to implement it. There is also issue with top managers that they have many other things apart from PDM on their mind, like they are already doing some or other things, and then this new thing PDM is coming. So generally what happens, they may be focused more on the issues that they are, or things that they are working on, and they may give less time for this PDM activity. And even if they are interested to give support and interested to implement this properly, they may not be able to provide the time and required support. It may also happen that top management are not aware of the potential benefit of PDM before it is implemented. Okay, PDM is purchased and we have to implement it. Okay, let the middle management and lower people do, the team do. If we find some benefit, then we'll try putting our attention and effort in it. But let them start using it, because those are the people who are really who really will be using the PDM system. So let them do it. Then we'll see afterwards. So all this can be the issues with the top management. There is one other issue with the top management, and that is they may not want to implement the organizational change, because PDM has to be for PDM to be implemented. There are other changes to be done in the organization structure, and they may not be interested to implement changes or make some changes. It may also incur some cost, some loss of position of some favorable employee or anything else. So all this may be the issues with top management or top managers, and they may not be interested in implementing the PDM system. Also, this is one of the reason why they may think PDM should not be implemented. That if they fail, they may lose on their job and name everything. Now, another important point is overselling the benefits of PDM. Like, while the PDM has to be purchased, they have over expressed that PDM is such a good thing. We will do this, all those things. And then actually, when they came to know that PDM may not be that beneficial, or maybe they were told in that way, then they may fear that this may not be a good tool that we are trying to implement. So they may be reluctant in doing this. Too many people will do this business because they may strongly believe that PDM may not actually work properly for their organization. It may be good for different organization. It may be good for different product of their same organization, but not for their particular product on which they are working. Next point is they should have a step-by-step plan for implementation of the PDM. If the clear path is not set how the PDM should be implemented, then it may not actually work, and it may create issues only instead of creating some benefit to the organization. So there may be people with different minds like this, and they may not allow PDM to be implemented properly. Now this all these barriers can be properly overcome if there is a fallback plan in reserve. Okay, if there is a plan that in case top management does decide to change its mind and they don't want to go ahead with organizational change, then what should be done? What should be done? There should be a plan B with the middle level management. Actually, the middle management and the project manager or the teams or the PDM team, they will actually do the implementation. they will have all the powers. Like if the top manager is saying, top level management is saying that, okay, we are not going to give you more manpower, or we are not going to give you, say for example, more computers, then, and we are giving all the power and responsibility to you. We have implemented, we have purchased this PDM now software, or PDM system has to be implemented, that is decided. Now you have the power and you have to do it all on your own. So you get it done from the people. No, sometimes it may happen that because of the PDM changes, the power of the functional department is reduced. That can also be a problem, uh, because as I have told you, there are certain structural changes that are to be made, and with these structural changes, some departments are given less power. Maybe they think that these departments are not that important in the manufacturing of the product or implementation of PDM, so their power may be reduced. There can be other problem also, that is that the cost of PDM is generally put in one department only, or two department, and the three four other departments are getting benefit, or benefit is equally been taken by all the department, but the cost of PDM, that cost is associated with one department only, the implementation cost or the maintenance cost. In such case, what will happen, these departments where the entire cost of PDM is put, they may not be able to invest the money that they have been given as the budget in some other activities or in some other operations. Then they may feel, why we should only bear all the money of the PDM, and benefit is equally shared with all the departments, and they may stop properly using the PDM system. Then the user of the system are another potential barrier to the effective implementation of the PDM. Now, if they decide that they don't want to work with the system, the users, then they are actual people who are working, who are the one who will use the system, and if they only decide that they don't want to work, then it's really a big problem, and that has to be solved by proper communication to the with the people. There may be something that they don't like about the system, or they may feel that, okay, by implementation of PDM their growth will stop, or their work will be assigned to someone else. There can be any other issue like that. The response time for the system is by the system is less, so their productivity is decreased because of that. Okay, so any other problem like this can be there in the mind, and because of that they may not work with the PDM, and then that will be another issue with the implementation of PDM system. So these problems can be overcome, and this has to be overcome by involving each one in the implementation of the PDM. If the workers who actually want to implement the PDM, if they are involved when the decision is taken, what will happen? They may feel now it is to be implemented because it is not told by someone to them. They themselves are telling, yes, PDM is required. So proper communication and involvement of people is really important, so that these barriers to PDM implementation will be reduced to a greater extent. So we have seen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 points listed out. Now you must be thinking, so many points are discussing so many points, and if really these are the points, then how anything can be implemented? So all these points may not occur at all the places. Like if I talk about system, there may be one or two issue of the system which are out of so many issues that I have discussed. There may be one or two issue, and some places, in some places maybe there is no issue at all with the system. There is issue only with the people. In some places there may be issue only with the process, or there may be issue with the process, funding, information. Okay, it can just be a combination of this, or it can be any individual one or two issues. So here we are talking about whatever possibilities are there for PDM implementation. Okay, so it's not that everything will be at every place. Only few of them, or if all these problems are there with any organization, then there is no reason why they should go for PDM implementation. Okay, so this is this will rarely happen. If it is very poorly managed, then only it will happen.